They're great. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Millennial Tavern. We are back at it again with another D&D stream. We are going back with the campaign 1, where
Dan Payne 1.
Dan Payne 1. Gotcha. Dan Payne 1, where yours truly, Dan Spence, is the DM. Now, that being said, we have a lot that's been going on recently, and it's been a little chaotic. A lot of fighting last session, wasn't that?
Yeah.
A lot of fighting. Somebody almost died a couple times, isn't that right?
Yeah.
He's fine. He's all right.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you're feeling pretty good. Our spellcaster are feeling pretty mighty out there in the
I didn't
back.
get touched once. They didn't even look at me.
Yeah,
I fucked them up, but they didn't look at me.
I'm glad your butthole wasn't touched. Mine was.
You want to give me the
Mine
punishment
wasn't
back?
touched because it was clenched so hard.
I think
Rip
you're
your
giving me
finger off.
I think you're giving me 2 potions so far already of greater healing.
Yeah, maybe.
One led to another fight. But
Yeah.
you did take it.
One of these things is not like the other.
It would appear so. Well, let's go ahead and dive into what kind of happened here this last session. So there was a lot of traveling. Somebody else joined, and like we said, a couple of fights that were very unfortunate for some people.
Underdark is gonna fuck us up.
We're not going there. That's crazy. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate this point.
But let's talk about it. So what exactly happened during that last session?
Boy, where do we start? Well, it really started when I was 4. And, you know. being
How old
at
are you
home-
now in the game?
Much older.
Much older.
How many sagas of this are we going through?
Well, it started when we were, when you guys were all in the forest, trying to track down.
This was we had just finished the fight with the little mini Elithid things. And then we were recovering from that. Everybody grouped up. We were like, what the fuck? What do we do? We're like, we press on.
Yeah, we were following the gargantuan,
Meagle.
the Meagle, yes. I showed up a little bit later, and then we heard some rustling and we saw some eyes in like some bushes, and that was very bad news bears for some of us, mainly a few. Just this giant, tall creature, very big teeth,
Very big teeth.
very intimidating.
Oh, what large teeth you have.
Oh, the pleasure to eat you with, my dear.
And it was a buy one get one special with them. So as soon as we took care of one, but wait, there's more. There was another one
Because of the healing.
because they were
Yeah,
attracted.
once we discovered what the cause was for okay, let's
It's
just
like our
there's
big
just
still another
bleed
one.
out.
There is still another one out there that we haven't seen.
was attracted to our life force, and we presumed that as soon as
Stop
we got more
healing.
life force,
Stop taking damage.
don't need to heal if they're already dead.
it's just an endless cycle. It's an Ouroboros. So we pressed forward after dealing with those monstrosities, and we eventually found ourselves at the mouth of a cave, in which I can't remember we went in or we were brought in.
We were greeted by the paladin
Right.
from the town that we recognized. We're like, hey, yo, what's up? And
I thought
he
you
was
were fishy.
he was speaking telepathically to me and then offered for all of us to go down there, except for
You
the
would
villagers.
know it wasn't telepathy per se. It was message.
Okay.
Yeah. Just as a clarity.
Yeah.
Because we are like in this
Yes.
Mind Flayer Illithid stuff. I just want to make sure that was clear. So.
Either way, he's in my head. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So we went down into the cave, left the villagers up top, the villagers that came with us in the hunting party, the 3 remaining ones, and we were like, okay, so
They're guarding the door, or they're guarding the cave up top, and he's a changeling.
yep, it's a changeling who serves his master, titled Master, and we met said Master, who turns out to be just an actual fucking Mind Flayer, and is like, yo, so like, what do you think you're gonna do here? I need you guys to skedat.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, whoa, like, hey, let's just time out for a second. Define skedat. And then he was like, well, I have X-Wrath, I control the dragons, I've been making deals with them make you fucking attack the town. Town's gonna be mine. We're like, oh, well, what does that have to do with us? He's like, you gotta leave. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So, well, you mind if we have a second to talk about ourselves? And we did. And now we're about to talk to him again.
Cool. Anything else you guys want to add on to that?
Edward got lovely.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that.
Edward
True.
has a connection with the Mind Flayer as the Mind Flayer grabs him and sits him down at the table.
And then he has
without
a little
control. Edward didn't have control.
Mind Flayer spawn. Like,
Oh yeah, you got a little new cuddle buddy.
Yeah, I did. He loves me.
Yep. Got a little squidling. It's just kind of like over there, and you're
I'm literally imagining a head crab from what's it called?
Half-Life?
From Half-Life. I guess you know what I'm imagining.
Cool. All right. Anything else we want to go ahead and toss them before we go ahead and start?
Nope.
All right. Let's do it. So, as we go ahead and resume with our adventures, you are sitting in the room debating back and forth how exactly you're going to handle the situation. There was an offer made that the Mind Flayer was basically just like, I'll let you leave here, but you have to agree to leave. The city will be mine, but you have to leave and get out of my way. Because you have been getting in his way more recently. But he actually offered a little more than that. He also offered the opportunity to assist him. If you end up helping him, there were promises of treasure and things of that nature, and all you had to do was potentially give a couple of the people that are remaining outside over to him. They would eventually follow him anyways. But then there was also talks about potentially helping with the village. He's eventually going to get there, but he wants to get there faster. There was discussions amongst the rest of you. It was like maybe what the feelings are about him, about the free folks, about the empire and everything. You're finally kind of arriving at what your decision would be. And as this door ends up kind of peeling off as a stone moves, you end up seeing that the Illithid walks right there into the room with commanding presence. He kind of surveys all of you. As that happens, you're going to end up feeling this kind of like little lingering touch that seems to go into each one of your minds. And you're going to feel as like he's almost experiencing a little bit of the surface knowledge of what you have. You don't truly know what this is. It's almost like a tickle in the back of your head. But he's going to end up getting a surface level understanding of everyone in the room's mind. As he just kind of slowly floats past all of you. As he slowly floats past all of you over to the head of the table on the other side of the room. Move him over there for me. As he ends up getting to the other side of the table where his throne is, he's going to end up sitting down and looking at the rest of you saying, I sense that there's a great division among you. Some seem to believe I am evil. I am wrong. Some seem to believe there's opportunity. Now, I would only assume that you have arrived at this collective decision. But before we go down this path, perhaps it would be best if we put some of this to rest. I understand you don't like me. You hate slavery. Do you think my paladin here is a slave?
I don't know. Does he have free will?
Ku, do you have free will? You're going to watch this. He just kind of sits there and transforms, and actually transforms into what is more of like a gray-colored woman. I've had free will since I was a young girl. Master took me in, off the streets. I choose to stay. And I hope that someday I will be reborn, just as he was.
Why do you choose to stay?
He saved me. When I was desolate in the streets of Edgewin. I was dying, I was alone, I was cold. I was an outcast of the Imperials in their land. He walked up to me in his cloak, and while his appearance was scary, he looked up at my face and told me, as he pulled me up, I shouldn't be afraid. That the world is scary, and he would help to protect them from me. Me from them. And I've been in his service ever since. I understand you feel that the rumors of what you heard about the Illithids and Mind Flayers are quite devastating. But we are not slaves. We don't create slaves. That is a very primitive way of looking at what we do. Similar to all of you in this room, as you go forth, what do? You kill things. You eat, devour, consume, reproduce, expand. What do? Now that I've broken away from the Elder Brain, I only wish to destroy it. But why shouldn't I as well consume and expand? See, we don't reproduce the same way you do. But, all the same, we don't want our civilization to die. And our way of life. Does that make us evil? Truly.
I think there's a difference between consuming humanoids and animals, like you're saying that we do.
I suppose that would be correct if humans didn't kill other humans. There's a war going on. Dare I presume that more humans are going to die in this conflict than humans' brains have ever consumed. I know you have questions. And I guarantee you I have answers. You just need to ask.
How do you dissuade from me?
You're gonna kind of look as he kind of closes his eyes and just kind of like goes into your mind a little bit. You just kind of feel this connection for a moment. What are you wanting to ask? This is just telepathically, so nobody else is going to hear this.
I guess I think in my head, I do not want to become some troll that is controlled by you by every whim.
And you fear this?
Yes.
You watch as like he kind of opens his eyes. How long has it been since your affliction?
Few weeks.
Has it truly been a few weeks?
I do a history check with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or whatever.
You can do a history.
9.
You feel like a few weeks might have been an overshoot. You're not sure exactly what it is.
Give or take.
He's just gonna kind of start probing into your mind a little bit deeper. You could choose to fail if you want. Okay. So as he probes in deeper in your mind, he's gonna kind of like cataloging your past couple of days and experiences. Oh my. Just short. Basically a week. What? May I examine you?
In what way?
He's just gonna kind of like hover out of his chair and start coming over towards you. Please. He's gonna kind of try to like grab you by your face.
I kind of like look over to y'all for like.
At this point, I think I stood up when he came back into the room. I'm gonna sit back down and kind of like trying to present that I'm relaxed.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything while he's examining?
Is anybody like giving anything back to me?
I'm intrigued. I'm curious what you are, so I'm kind of letting it happen.
I only just met you guys today.
It's like, this is a lot,
And
okay?
I'm like, look, man, I ain't looking too high.
Hey, sign up for this, guys.
Yeah.
he's literally like dying from blood loss.
Yeah, he's like, well, that's why I agreed to go help with a golem. I didn't know I'd be facing down a literal thing from the underworld.
Like Olympic, Elder Brain. What the fuck did I just walk into?
Alright, so he's going to be spending a little time just kind of examining. He's going to be kind of like pulling open your eyelid and doing anything like that. Is there anything you guys want to do while this is going on? Other than just watching?
I'm just watching.
Okay. As he ends up going through and just kind of examining the rest of your body, he's going to end up doing some tests and everything. You're going to watch as he actually kind of takes a little bit of like one of these little like talons he has. Just kind of like scratches your skin. You're going to watch as like the skin kind of separates for a second. But it's not really the skin. It's more of like a liquid outside the skin that kind of begins to reform around. And you see more of this this like slime-ish pus start kind of coming out of your pores that drips down your hand. Like, goodness.
Goodness.
Think of the same thing.
This. Do you hear the voices?
I did, but not recently.
But you see memories, thoughts, collections of experiences.
Here and there.
You should be dead. You should have transformed. You should be one of us. Based off the room I saw in your memory, you actually were taken into the very hive that I came from.
How this...
You were infected. Are you familiar with the process of Ceramorphous?
No, I'm not.
It is the way that Mind Flayers are born. Taking tadpoles and putting them into your mind. Entering through the eye, typically, they begin to consume the brain till eventually the tadpole eats enough of it that you are no more and you are part of the collective. It's fascinating that this witch sent you all the way to the Elder Brain. I had not realized that the Elder Brain was sending its thralls this far out. This is worrisome that there might be illithids in this area that side with the Elder Brain.
Where is this Elder Brain then? Sounds like much closer than somewhere off in some other planets in the cosmos.
The Elder Brain is located in Imperial territory. Vicinity of Edgewin.
Would I know where that is?
Roll history. You can roll advantage to give me your backstory.
Good. Ooh, good. Not really. That is a 12.
Generally it's kind of like off to the off to the west of the Leech of the Damned. Not extremely deep into Imperial territory, but kind of a little bit. You can look at the map, yeah. I know that Sam has it. So. I'm assuming based off of your stature alone, this is what happens when illithids are not in charge. When you expect thralls in the brains of mice, essentially, to go around and perform these tasks, they don't pick the best candidates. You shouldn't have been chosen. Your height and stature is out of the normal means of what would be expected. Normally what would happen is these thralls and these infected would die in the process, never turning into an illithid of their own. simply dying in the process of Ceramorphous. But it seems that your tadpole has created some kind of a symbiotic bond between you and the arcane, which is heavily frowned upon in our species, but it seems as if it was literally grasping for life. It has found a way to survive through you, knowing that it would too die. It's quite fascinating, truly.
I feel like hearing all of this, I would start kind of slowly inching my way closer to the illithid. Closer.
Closer than that?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Closer.
I understand that you fear death. Are you fearful that I will bring this upon you?
Quite honestly, not wrong. I'm afraid.
Your mind doesn't lie, so I know I'm not wrong.
I'm afraid.
Of me?
But of many things. You, well, not so much. I'm afraid of death, yes, but not of my own death, but more so the consequences of mine. However, the situation, the precipice of everything that is going on, it is a lot for me to take in at the moment. I've only just accompanied these fellow adventurers, and I'm just sorry. I've never seen species of your kind ever before. I've only heard myths and legends before.
And, dare I say, it is unlikely you'll meet others of my species again. At least, not ones that aren't connected to me.
Now, there has been something that did, pique my interest a little bit. You work. Do you specifically work with the dead, the ones that have perished? That amalgamation, I wanted to study it further. Did you create that?
No. No. That was Ku's doing.
I see.
She has studied a great deal in the arts of the artificers. While I would never dabble in such feudal magic myself, with her under my domain and my influence, she's able to perform great works for us.
I have no idea what that says.
It's right over my face.
Okay,
Oh.
I did a sub.
Thanks, Arthur.
Thanks, Arthur. But she's very experienced in this. Actually, at one point, she was sent out to the Artificer Sanctuary far north of here. It's not necromancy. But she understands a little.
I feel like a little might be a bit of an understatement with what we've been following. It's quite a complex being from what it looks like, rather than just a typical zombie.
Your partner there, are they wearing some kind of protective veil? I was unable to get a read on them.
As a matter of fact, there are a few things that I have given my.
I detected magical presence on them. I wouldn't be so intrusive to go into your mind unwillingly. But I was curious.
As a matter of fact, yes, they are wearing something that prevents any magic from entering their mind. It came across it along many different adventures. I felt that given our history and everything that has happened to my partner, they were the best of us.
You two. You seem to have a curiosity and interest. Treasures?
Aye.
Deals? I suppose that is the perfect conduit in conversation for us to move on to the next point. What is your decision?
Well, I believe we just learned some hidden context we didn't know about before, namely in the form of the Elder Brain under an Imperial city. Not too far from here, but a bit a ways where we can at least. Well, I don't really feel safe at all anymore. So, if we, and truly, if the Empire has an Elder Brain somewhere under one of its largest cities, this can't be good. There could be other implications that the Elder Brain is, in fact, manipulating, possibly, the Imperial forces, those that command it. Seems that might be more of an enemy that we have not even heard of before. And if you have broken off from the Elder Brain's dominion, then perhaps would only stand to benefit, especially if we are pretty much considered enemies of the Empire simply by association of the fact that we were just from Pike. Then we might do well with potential partnership.
He's going to go ahead and do the tech thoughts again across the room. Yes, if you guys could please.
My response is
Yeah, wait for it.
It's the exact same.
if anything has changed about your opinions on the
Mine has not changed.
situation. Okay, noted.
Wow. Couldn't even message that.
Enthusiastic as always.
Like, look, it's true.
Can somebody actually grab me a Heinen?
I'm also gonna grab one as well.
It's a new
Vodka
second
ones are better.
New.
What's
Do you
that?
have the tequila ones before?
I haven't, no. That's why I wanted to get on my favorite time.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I guess I just
What's
like
the grapefruit
vodka.
technique?
I guess I like vodka more than I like tequila.
Not like you can really taste the tequila.
I can.
No.
And the strawberry one.
I can't. And the
Really?
strawberry one.
I can totally taste
It
it.
tastes just like a seltzer, honestly.
I can taste the tequila.
I can totally taste the tequila. Our palates are just better.
I'll give it like another couple seconds, but
Just making sure you didn't yell at me or not.
so as he's doing it, you're gonna notice that like it's almost like he's not putting any effort into this. Like it's just he's just kind of like kind of just glancing over the entire room, and as this happens, he's gonna end up kind of coming to this next point. I understand there is concern. It's very rightful. But I do believe he's going to end up kind of gesturing over towards Arthur and Scorn. There is truth in what they bring, what they mention. as a gesture of goodwill, I will allow you to continue to deliberate. I'll even allow you to leave this room. Please. Do not leave. Do not go poking around. But I will be here when you're ready. Take your time. But I believe, for all of us, time is of the essence. And as I detected in one of you, you actually have those compatriots up front, up top, that were told 15 minutes. It may be in someone's best interest to go up there. If you don't mind, I could have Q go up there and look as one of you and tell them there's an expansion. A little more time is required. While you deliberate, of course.
I want to roll insight. Just if I generally believe, like, the whole elder brain,
Okay, yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, if I'm digging the story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you dig it?
Does that mean you do or how do you don't?
That's a solid
Highly
7.
you do, you don't.
You are extremely bought into the idea of what he's saying, and you kind of the more you're thinking about it, it's like I don't really feel like there's a reason why he would be lying. Like, he's obviously not trying to eat us, and it's like, I mean, why would he just go lying about this? This actually kind of makes sense given everything that we kind of discussed and learned about Imperials and everything. It doesn't really give you a whole lot to go off of, but it's enough to kind of justify.
Can I do an insight as well?
Yeah, you can. Basically the same thing, but with a little more clarity. Just kind of like reading his body language, not just the situation as a whole. It feels like he's being very, very forthcoming because there is something to gain from both parties in this sense. Well, with no objection, Q, which of you would you prefer that Q changes to? Which is most respected?
Probably me.
School.
You're gonna watch this Q just kind of the same way that you kind of watch it, Elena changes, just kind of immediately shift her form to you. All right, then I will go out there, and then you're gonna watch as she just kind of walks out the door and starts walking up the stairs. You're gonna watch as the yellow brain kind of comes, not the yellow brain, sorry, the mind flayer is kind of like going up to the door, leaves the door open, and just says, "Do heed my warnings." As you watch as he kind of starts going down the hallway.
That's into it. This is out. Correct. Yeah.
Correct.
Making sure.
Who's at the mouth of the cave?
Those are like at the top of the cave.
Okay.
The
got it.
tiefling.
Like the
and,
top of the cave.
Outside.
Exactly. Believe it or not, my huge map does not allow for me to have a giant staircase going all the way up.
What?
I know.
Just get rid of
Sorry guys, I had to like cut it a little bit short. So
Put a more table over there.
yeah, exactly. Just go like a triple wide. Like we're gonna go like a 500-inch table.
You got another
You
leaf to put.
gotta set up that 40K setup, man.
Maybe when we end up getting the critical role level, we'll discuss that. But until then, all right. So the illithid has left the room, and you guys are alone, except for the little squiddling that's still just kind of snuggling there in your arm, there, Edward. So as you end up kind of like going through this entire thing, you end up noticing is the illithid was kind of like checking you out. The little squiddling just kind of like sat there, and the little tentacle just kind of flopping around, just kind of looking up at you. And as it looks like it's finally done doing the inspection, it's just going to kind of sit there on that side, just kind of looking up with these big eyes. And then eventually, as the illithid kind of walks out of the room, you're gonna watch it kind of like gets all his tentacles wrapped around your arm and everything, and almost is like trying to like not like suckle on your arm, but just kind of like get enough of a wrap around where he can kind of like just like dangle his head right there, and you end up seeing like these tentacles are going all the way kind of around your like biceps and shoulder, and you see this little eye just kind of like staring right in your face. You look down, and you see like a eye.
I want to rip it off and throw it across the room.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Hey, bro, can I see your hamster? No way. He's chucking this shit, dog. That's crazy.
All right,
Are you
go.
sure this is what you want to do?
Too late. I said it.
Yeah, he said it. All right, so go ahead and make an attack roll.
Holy shit.
What am I doing? Strength or what do you want?
It's gonna be an improvised weapon, so.
Everybody's weapon. You add to that. Is it? I think it's just your.
It's
your
just strength, no
Yeah.
proficiency.
Yeah. So it's 15.
Okay. All right, so you successfully end up missing the bookcases and everything like that. You end up chucking this thing across the room to the wall. So as it ends up hitting the wall, it's going to end up like it just kind of like gets there. You can just watch it kind of like use its tentacles just to like scurry across the floor. It just kind of runs out. It just keeps going the rest of its way out the room. And you hear it kind of like echoing down the hallway. Then you hear a bunch of other just like echoing all the way across, and it's filling the entirety of the chamber.
Oh, why did you do that?
What the
No. Don't know what these things do besides. Oh, fuck. I want to, like, get up and go towards the door.
Yeah.
And like, look out there.
Yeah, roll investigation.
That is a 19.
Okay. So as you end up getting up close to the door and you end up looking out, you're gonna see what is just a like almost like a hive of these little like things just like running over towards you, kind of just like screwing their tentacles as they're all just running up towards that room. And now he leaves.
The guy's calling me.
Oh, so like
Trying to get
all of them are going back to the room.
Yep. So you're gonna end up seeing what looks like at least like 9 or 10 of them just like running up to that room. As you're like staying there in this doorway, you remember like the door somehow has this closing mechanism, but
I think I will.
Close the door.
I'll close the door.
okay. So you're just gonna have to like okay. Let's roll a
I
percentile.
don't really have a lot of sleight of hand. This might go rough.
Let's roll a percentile really quick and slide him.
And sleight of hand?
Do I hear the echoing?
So somebody roll a percentile for me.
8.
What?
8.
Where's my percentiles? Right
The big one.
What the fuck that one is?
there.
Where's the big
60.
60. Okay. What'd you roll?
Wait, what's the big?
Huh?
Where's the big?
He was just looking for percentile, not D100.
So 60.
And then I got an 8.
Okay.
On my roll.
So you're gonna be sitting there just kind of like hitting the wall everywhere over there, not sure exactly what you're hitting, and you're just like fuck, as you watch it. They keep getting closer. You can try again, but
I want to cast Mage Hand and just rip
so you do know that it's 10
Mage
feet.
hand can't do that.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's 10 feet, 10 pounds of pressure. You can go ahead and make a mage hand, just start like tapping the wall a lot, and just slide hand on it. You can do that. Yeah.
I'm freaking out. I'm gonna try again.
No, because if you just have a mage hand going up there and like you hit the button, then you're fine.
What's the button?
It's like some kind of a button or mechanism. It's some kind of a thing. Yeah, it's some kind of a thing. That's the idea. So
I want to walk up closer to him and just yell stop at the thing.
okay, roll persuasion.
7.
Okay.
It was almost like a 20 something.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make your sleight hand then.
Hmm.
So as you yell that, it feels like they're not even paying attention. They're 14. Okay. As you're like hitting everything in the wall, you're still like not finding it and everything. Now you're starting to panic. You feel like you're doing a lot better job. Like you're really putting in like maximum effort right now. I'm actually really surprised he hasn't cast guidance or anything. So he obviously wants to die. But so like you're just like touching everything everywhere. As they end up getting a lot closer, you're gonna end up kind of having a just like connection feeling. And you start seeing through a bunch of their eyes, and you get these feelings of like anger and confusion and almost hunger. They're all running towards you.
Can we get it?
I'm gonna go get
Yeah,
the-
go ahead.
Is it paid for and everything?
I think at this point I'm just going to change forms.
I'm going to back
So
up.
this is
I'm
actually,
closer to the door.
Oh, you're like at the door, right?
So
Arthur is also at the door.
I've changed forms at this point, which I don't think you've ever seen.
Nope. No, I have not. So the whole time, like, you've been, like, that interaction that you've had with the Illithid, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, what? What do you mean he's infected?
How tall is your character? This one?
He's like 5'9", 5'10".
Okay, so I am mounting over because he's like 11 foot tall at this point.
My God.
Yeah. So
I didn't
it's-
realize it was that large.
Yes.
I didn't either.
Yes. 11 foot tall. So then at that point, I'm just going to I come over here and I'm gonna kind of just like shove it all out of the way.
Like,
you want
paper-
to shove this downstairs and then.
yeah, and then like you can just bring it up here and there's paper plates downstairs too.
Describes that as you right now.
I'm gonna kind of like sort of shove you all out of the way and stand in front of the door, and then as they come up, I just want to just kind of get in their way and just try to command them to just stop.
Okay, so what are you saying?
I pretty much I'll just kind of like force myself towards them, and then I'll just kind of sort of in like a low, like a not yelling or anything, just more of like a low, more like
Corrective growl.
Yeah, like
Like when
just-
your dog is being back. No.
yeah, just be like,
Don't do that.
Stop.
Okay. Roll intimidation with advantage.
What am I gonna
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
I'm about to like reach in my little spoke point pocket.
15.
Okay. All right. So as you end up doing that, you're gonna see as they all just kind of like they immediately just kind of stop as they're looking up at you. As they all just kind of like start scattering off in different directions.
And then I'll kind of turn around and like kind of as I'm turning, I'll kind of just kind of shrink back to my normal self, and then just go sit down, and just kind of like stare, just like straight at the wall, like not really looking at anything in particular.
Okay.
Just kind of like sit down.
The fuck?
I tried telling you earlier, but you didn't like it when I did.
So that's how you that everything the Illithid that was saying about you is starting to make more and more sense. How did this begin? Why are you this thing?
How loud and direct are you being towards me?
Uh,
Like, are you
ex-
right next to
like-
me?
I'm like basically where you see me, like right across the table from you, goes like 10 feet away, and like kind of the same kind of tone that I'm taking with you right now.
Hey.
Thank you so much. Heck yeah.
Nice, and Yachty got it.
Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it.
I think for a moment you're gonna look at me and like it looks like I'm looking through you.
Oh,
Like I'm like not even
Yo, what up?
Thank you.
like almost like my mindset is not even here right now. I'm kind of like paralyzed in like just I know that I have been able to do this for a little while, but the realization of the situation is like come to me at this point. So it's to the point where you almost would probably have to like repeat yourself to try to get my attention.
Okay. Yeah, seeing as I'm just not getting to you whatsoever, just gonna look at everyone else and like,
I'm still fairly new with it. I didn't know. I don't know how.
so has he
He's
told
scared
you guys anything of how he got these
I thought it was
powers?
some sort of witch curse.
By, and I'm sorry, I think I heard correctly. He met with the Elder Brain? Is that how you got this transformation?
Seeing him like zoned out, I would probably walk up to him and be like this on him.
Yeah, grab the arm just like the little squid was just a second ago. I just go.
Be careful. I got the last one thrown against the wall.
Well, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Next thing you know, the entire group's gonna start attacking you.
Did you see it?
The elder brain is what you're asking?
Roll
Yes.
history. Roll history.
Nat 20.
Wow.
Wow, the 2 times that
Let's
we've
go.
gone over this, it's been a nat 20. That's awesome.
All right.
2 times it really counts.
So as you're kind of like rattling your brain and kind of trying to go through that memory, you're thinking about you remember seeing what it's like these cloaked things off in the distance and kind of seeing now what the Elitha looks like in the profile and remembering that shadow as you kind of just like take a still frame of that image. You remember seeing what looks like that head styling. Now you recognize like the figure that you saw and like this cloak and everything was an Elithid. Remember seeing other Elithids also standing in the same room. Some of them actually floating and casting shadows on the walls. Then you remember seeing this one thing standing there in the middle of the room. It was like just kind of like floating there, and you end up seeing this giant shadow. And you remember seeing parts of the shadow cast across the wall that looked like it was actually like kind of contours and everything. And while you didn't get a clear look at anything, you're kind of putting this more together now. It's like, wait a second. That probably was an elder brain just floating there. Whatever this portal was, it took me into the hive or the chamber to become one of them, but somehow I was saved. I was pulled back. I should have been stuck there. I should have died. I should have been paralyzed and just.
I had a vague recollection of what happened originally. It was hard to put into words and remember exactly what I saw, but now that what this Mind Flayer is telling us, it kind of makes the picture a little clearer in my head. And I mean, if it wasn't for the few that are here, excluding the
I was-
3,
I was the only one that was there.
Just her.
I guess,
In the OJ group, yeah.
yeah, I would have been dead probably. But yeah, now that I think about it, I guess I must have seen the other brain, but I didn't understand it at the time. So, I mean, the elder brain he's got more of these things with him.
We would stand no chance if we were to come face to face with that.
Probably not. I mean, I think it was partially pure luck that I am still alive today.
Dumb luck. Sounds like. If even the Mind Flayer himself, the Master, as he calls himself, if he doesn't know that what's possibly saving you, then there's no chance in hell we'll be able to figure that out.
No, I mean,
The books in the the books in the library of Shadowstone have nothing of knowledge compared to what
Not even
if
that.
what he speaks is true.
Well, I think it's true, especially since we've been watching Eddard seem to have a rough time, especially with coming close to the Master. I can imagine it can only get rougher if you approach the Elder Brain, and it could just do. I have no idea what that could happen. What could happen with that? It doesn't make any sense. What
Oh,
does make sense, though. Not that I've been drinking any beverages, aptly named such, but why would the Master? I'm gonna have to find a new name for him, or ask him what it. What? He obviously sees us as a threat, ultimately, to his vision, with how we've been proceeding so far. So, we're at least powerful enough, just the group of us, in terms of being able to put up resistance against something like an Elder Brain, or something like some super insidious, deep plan that has influence over the region.
What have you guys done that you can remember that have probably caused this
I mean, we
Elithid
killed
to
the-
interrupt, saying that you are thwarting his
Well,
plans?
you do, if you remember, he clearly was stating that he has sway over dragons in the area, and
Well,
we did stop the dragons from
He all but implied that
massacring
somehow
the
involved
town.
in the IVX.
He has some sort of sway over the IFX rest or the dragons that come from it, but we don't know exactly the extent. I mean, it's possible that the dragons that were attacking the ferry, the bridge that we took to get here, that could have been some ploy to try to cut off the town.
Well, they nearly got me.
And
do you think he might have had?
I mean,
some-
he said that his focus is this town right now, for the time being. And then who knows how long he'll be satisfied with just that.
What more I'm worried about is the Empire with the Elder Brain. There's an
Yes.
Elder Brain. We have. I'm sure we can ask, but we have no idea the power and influence the Elder Brain has already manifested.
Well-
And that would make sense as to why the Imperials might have attacked Pike. Because there's no rhyme or reason other than they just wanted to conquer Pike and don't want to see. And it could be more nuanced than they don't want to see people free, or maybe it's more of the fact that they just want to expand the influence of the Empire in general.
Well, I mean, or it could be this Elder Brain. If the Elder Brain has sway over the Empire, I mean, the Empire, the people that he has sway over could be using this expansion as a way to further the Elder Brain's high, his collective.
If we have enough power to be a bug in the arse of this Mind Flayer, then if we team up with him against the Elder Brain, which is almost synonymous with the Empire at this point, then we can at least
Form an alliance with a common
form an
enemy.
alliance to beat the Empire. Or at least root out the Elder Brain, defeat it, and free the Empire from the shackles of the Elder Brain itself. You want to talk about slavery? You have an entire civilization that's being controlled in some sort of grand design.
Is pretty puzzling either way. I think it. I'm still kind of on the same mindset of.
Just moving your piece away.
I still am at the mindset that I don't necessarily want to directly help him, but we do need to leave.
You might not have a choice. This dude is in your brain.
And he's the only one who at least knows at least one damn thing about what's happened to you.
I wouldn't burn that bridge. I might be the only one.
I mean, we're not necessarily burning bridges.
I'm just worried that if we piss this guy off enough, he's gonna take over control and turn you into that thing and kill us all. And you're not gonna have any control over what you're doing.
I don't
I mean,
know.
his friends already listen to you.
If anything, if we suggest a partnership with the Master, we could possibly even give counsel as to how he could influence and expand his reach, while not making it as brutal as we've seen. So far, he's been kidnapping slaves and turning them into these little squiddling things that Eddard has mind to throw across the room. If anything, we could convince him to not take such a ugly approach, a more palatable approach for other towns to see, perhaps.
Shiloh, stop biting my toe.
Go.
I'm allowed to move my foot. Go.
Tell you what, I will defer to you. You guys make your decision.
We all agree we need to leave. We're all agreeing, I believe, that there's no way of not helping him at a certain extent, whether that's small or fully partnership.
I know this is not how this spell works, but just for flair, I want to like toss a little fireball in the air, and then I, like, just in my hand, obviously not trying to make any.
You're juggling a fireball.
Yeah,
Or a little,
basically.
We'll say fireball. You're juggling a fireball.
Yeah, let's do fireball.
Worst comes to worst.
The fireball.
It's the ceiling just-
Doing this, not the 6th or 4th level spell. Whoa! And then our friend Reginald
She's sitting there trying to do firebolt. She says fireball.
Holy crap!
Worst comes
Fireball.
to worst.
Easy. All right.
Worst comes to worst.
Start mimicking her.
What tarnation?
Yeah, I can do it.
What tarnation?
But no, we're going to have to help him at minimum with something.
And the more we're willing to cooperate, the more we'd probably be able to at least.
You don't even like this town. Yeah, you're protecting it like it's your own.
I mean, it's better than Pike.
Oh, you frequented here before. Frequented the town, rather.
It's,
What if
it's
we try
decent business. But that's
Well,
Pretty
think
much
about
it.
it this way. I understand you were a slave trader before, still are. But if the master wants to expand his influence, we can offer some sort of counsel with that. We could also end slavery in that regard.
I was going to suggest, what if we try to make some minor adjustments to this plan? Suggest
That way we can make it.
leave the slaves alone.
Exactly.
Only go for maybe the men.
Maybe the
The
townsfolk.
women and the children are, I'm going to assume, are a little more innocent in that regard than all the morons that run around running the city.
you can try.
You're
But
still
I-
expanding.
But we can make it into a more palatable vision, I believe. And I think you're getting what I'm envisioning as well. Is that not that we don't want every. I don't think the townspeople want to be turned to swindlings at all, of course. As long as I think if we go in with an open mind.
We might
about-
not ever run into him again. But if we do, I'd rather be his friend than his foe.
Especially if
The
this is
Imperials
already
are
a
invading.
large enough task as it is. But destroying an elder brain. I mean, ultimately, that's
Do you know how to kill one?
without some sort of mind shield. No. And I have no means of procuring something like that. We have to go find it. We have
So-
to still continue our quest, still go to Shadowstone. We definitely have to give Edgewin a wide berth, since that's where the Elder Brain allegedly is.
So let's make a deal. Hopefully persuading the master with limitations or advisements that would be more suitable and less threatening and suspicious of the area. And leave on good terms enough where if we do come in play, we at least are on speaking terms.
More than speaking terms, I'd say. If we can
I
have,
mean,
if we can have,
I'm in agreement fully. I'll fully align.
if we can have his ear, metaphorically, then that's
tentacle with his.
mind sliver, something mind goblin, perhaps. I don't know. Am I too out of line with this way of thinking? I don't know. I'm trying to get a read on the room. I don't want to seem like I don't want to overpower the conversation. trying to think of this practically as well as.
I mean, here's the deal. We know that right now we cannot stop this from him. Not on our own. At least not right now. And if
And it's
we
not
leave,
like we can get the town to turn against him.
As you're saying this, you're going to end up realizing that Ku kind of walks right past the door and just kind of says, she just kind of keeps walking by.
Is it Ku or is it me?
It's Ku. Ku, she turns back. So.
Yeah.
Which one's number one?
It's me.
If we leave, he's going to do what he does, which we know we need to leave. So at this point, we can at least try to.
It's our only chance to use the ferry at this point.
We could at least try to belay the casualties,
He does that if he's next to your foot. Like, he doesn't expect your foot to move. That's fine.
or however you want to
Just
describe
come
it.
here.
There is
It's
a.
okay.
We
I'm
will
sorry
need
I
to.
keep scaring you.
We'll need to
Sorry.
persuade the townsfolk
It's okay.
that we successfully completed the bounty, killed the golem, and or its master.
Well,
We would also need to tell the Mind Flayer to wait X amount of days that would be believing that it wouldn't happen again.
here's the deal, though. The reason why the town is on guard is because of the golem. If we are leaving, and as long as he does not send the golem back ever, he doesn't need the golem. The whole point of the golem was to slowly expand his influence over the
He's
area.
going to start whining.
So if we're leaving, ideally, he does not need the golem anymore.
I don't disagree.
So
It's more of also just making sure the Mind Flayer agrees that he should maybe wait an extra cycle of his pattern, so the city is or the town is no longer on edge, and they believe that he is actually killed.
it's probably his plan, anyways. I would assume. But we should definitely bring it up.
We also need something to show us proof. Our word can only go. Arthur's word can only go so far.
Well, they've already said in the they have already stated in the bounty that no matter what, there has to be a time of silence.
I
on the
mean,
golem. No matter what we bring as proof.
He is something that we could probably grab a corpse or a head or imagine something that we could say we took in this
His
something. I mean, you said weapon.
his weapon.
Good luck with that. You want to try to persuade him on the weapon for someone who doesn't like him?
We have no idea how many things are in this cave in terms of potential proof of we slew the evil artificer with the giant meat golem. We slew them all. I think there potentially could be lots in that regard.
It wouldn't hurt to ask.
And I think we're getting a little too bogged down in the details, but essentially, what do we think?
I think we leave, and we asked him if he could try to spare slaves, because they're kind of the ones getting the raw deal, in both regards.
As you're saying that, you're going to end up kind of hearing this like a little hovering, like kind of a squash of a skirt coming against the floor. As it happens, you're going to end up seeing Master just standing there in the doorway. I'm not sure if you've arrived at a decision yet, but come. I wish to show you something. You're just going to kind of motion as he kind of makes a little bit of room in the doorway.
I guess I'll get up and start walking.
I'll follow.
Or just leave.
Right,
No.
so as all of you
Don't
end up
touch
kind of
me.
like coming into the hallway, yeah, you can go ahead and move all those guys out of the way. So as you end up coming into the hallway, you're going to see that the hallway seems basically just pitch black, except for as you look a little bit farther down, you're going to end up seeing kind of some radiating light coming from a little bit deeper. And as you end up kind of walking through and just following the litter that he's walking through, you're going to see that there's like a lot of light coming out of this room coming off to your left. As you kind of take a glance inside, you're going to see with its trees of like this whole spectrum of like fluorescence and vibrant neon colors that they're kind of coming through. Anyone who's walking by there, go ahead and roll medicine for me.
Matt fucking 20.
16.
8.
14.
Wrong color.
What am I? Medicine?
Medicine.
Yeah.
21.
Okay. So 19 you 16? Oh, 16. Sorry. Okay, so
21.
you two and 16. So 20, 21, 16. You guys are all going to recognize that is some kind of a like a growth room. It looks like there's a lot of plants in there that are used. And as you're kind of looking there a little further, you're going to see that like a lot of the plants that are kind of more standing out to you are things that are done not just to make medicine, but also to help manipulate and make like acids and different types of adhering substances. You're going to end up kind of seeing into this room really quick and be like, this must be a lot of the material that he uses to actually create the brine and stuff for some of the incubations things that he was talking about. But also more specifically, you're able to see like these are some of the same things that you would use as an artificer to maybe bond different types of metals in like a melted kind of fashion, and also just kind of work through the flesh and things. This is probably one of the big areas that a lot of the material and resources come from, outside of course the flesh. So as you end up walking,
Okay. You're over me today.
Canceled.
so as you end up going down the hallway a little bit more. Yep, so as you end up going down the hallway a little bit more, you're going to end up seeing what looks like a couple of other doors. It looks like they're all closed. But then there's one door off to the side that doesn't really have anything going on. As he just kind of walks up to it and you watch as he presses something on the side, the entirety of the door just opens up. He's going to end up taking you into this room over here.
Corner chamber. Do we see anything over here as we're kind of walking through? So is it like brightly lit here?
It's not brightly lit. As you get deeper, it becomes more brightly lit. So as you end up kind of walking in through this area, you are going to end up seeing what looks like a fire that's just kind of like kind of glowing. Looks like it must have something that's on there cooking. But as you look a little bit deeper, you're going to see what is just like very, very bright emissive light coming from this chamber. And it seems like it kind of goes off into an abyss. Like you can't see any further. But you are going to see some of these more very, very bright and just almost translucent plants. They don't look like they're tamed or anything. They're just kind of growing freely. As you end up walking into this room, Neolithid is just going to kind of stop and say, I'd like to welcome you to my trophy room. Now, I know you were discussing things. I'd like you to take a look. He kind of gestures to this wall over here. Over the course of my existence, I have had a great many individuals attempt to slay me. And some of those treasures have been left here because of that. But I have also, through the help of Ku and others, had a great many people and humanoids go out and collect relics. Now these relics are symbols of my own that I'm able to appreciate. But, assuming we should and do strike a deal, please, take a look. Perhaps we could work this into our arrangement. He just kind of gestures over at the wall. Okay. I'm not going to make anyone roll for it, but so the gist of it being is you're kind of looking at this wall. There is like, this is a fucking massive collection of just magic items. So you're going to end up seeing what looks like some swords, some axes, like a glaive. You're going to see what looks like some like very, very fancy armor, like a mantle of some kind. You're going to end up seeing what looks like some kind of a flail, but it's like a lantern or something. You're going to see like all these kind of crazy things. If you're looking for anything specifically, kind of give me the semblance of what you're looking at, but there is a large breadth of things on this wall. Necklaces and jewelry as well.
Is there anything that it looks Like not necessarily an item on its own, but something that you would use to enhance the weapon.
So it doesn't look like that. It looks like the vast majority of stuff is going to be broken down into like weapons, like armor, kind of buffs, and then there's going to be some like what looks like some books that are kind of on like prominent display. So those might be where you're looking for things, but nothing explicitly stands out to you like that. What else would people be looking out for?
I'd be looking to see if there's anything that would enhance or grant lightning / thunder damage,
Okay.
enhancements, whatever. Kind of going with my.
I'm looking for a good medium armor.
So as you all are kind of like going through and doing this, Mind Flayer's just going to kind of watch and be like, I feel like you're gravitating towards certain things. Would you like if I make some recommendations? Of course, given whatever it is that you're interested in, this will be worked into the exchange of our arrangements. But please, who would like to start?
Well, Arthur, if you want to
I'll go.
speak on the
Well,
speak on our arrangement, we were our answer, whatever you want to call it.
well, to put it lightly, we have considered your proposal for a partnership. And we are very open to these ideas. More so, we would like some time in the future, at least, to work out some of the details, perhaps.
Well, of course.
But I think, in terms of fighting the Elder Brain is the end goal, to free the Empire of
An eventual
shackles.
end goal.
Absolutely. But of course, to that end, we believe we can help. And we would like your help as well. I think we can assume with the Elder Brain a threat, and the Empire on our heels since Pike, we can stand to benefit from friendship.
He's going to go ahead and cast Detect Thoughts across the room. Reginald, you're really thinking about your Detect Thoughts.
I've been thinking a lot
I can
these
tell.
past like 20 minutes. Oof.
Okay. Waiting on a couple more.
Shinies. Distracted by the shinies.
Shiny, shiny.
What is that from?
It's a cartoon or something.
Was it from? That wasn't from Grimm, was it?
It's
Grimm
maybe.
Adventures of Billy Mandy.
It might be.
Well, I believe we can arrive at an arrangement. I know we're waiting on one more, but it's all good.
Not a story, just a
I'm
sentence or
thinking
two.
of a.
Oh no,
Druid
it's
Glade.
from that animal high school show.
Yeah,
Remember?
no.
Where the kid goes to a school for animals
No.
because his last name is Lion.
What's the name of the show?
My
Mind
Jupiter's
you,
Monkey.
yeah, yep.
Go for that apparently.
It's not weird enough for that.
Yeah.
You stop it.
That's the general vibe of this cave.
I have reason to believe that we can arrive at an arrangement. Some of you seem rather interested in my collection. Please. And you're gonna watch as he just kind of like makes a gesture as you watch all of these little things start popping out. It's like, help yourself. If my survey is correct, I believe these right here might be of the most interest to you. He kind of gestures off towards this like middle section of the trophy case. And basically, you guys could just kind of start going through and looking at all the stuff that he has. So, this being said, he's just going to kind of remain silent for a little bit as he just lets you guys kind of peruse through and look at whatever you want.
2 shopping nights in a row? Let's go.
All right, so that
if you don't have to pay.
So that being said, as he's just kind of letting you guys read through this, who feels like they're going to be kind of reading through all this stuff? You're going to watch these little plaques come out with little like descriptions.
I would read them.
So you're going to be reading through them.
Yeah. Mainly focused
Are
on...
you going to be focusing on that, or
I'm looking
more so just kind of examining?
I'm looking for 2 things.
Oh, okay.
2 things specifically.
Sure.
Some sort of medium armor where I don't have a -2 to AC with my dex. Because I'm wearing scale mail but have 12 AC. So that fucking sucks. Looking for either that or some sort of firearm.
Well, so that's funny because I think you're going to like what one of the things is.
Oh wow, is it a firearm?
It's an
Is it a repeatering
It's
rifle?
an armor that just
Firebolts.
pops out to have a...
No, but it's close. But we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that.
Wand of fireballs.
Is that a good name for it?
All right, so going through a little more. So you guys. So he's going to be looking for that. And you guys are all going to kind of be reading the plaques and everything too?
I mean, I'd be looking specifically for armor. So whether it's heavy, medium, light, doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, the obviously the more I see, the better. But
I'm not really interested in much. Maybe just like glancing around for looking for magic stuff. But I'm not really like.
Even a good shield.
Okay.
Looking for a good shield.
All right. So as you guys are looking through, as everyone's just kind of looking through and perusing, so let me know if any of these things like really stand out to you, and we'll stop there. So there's this thing that's called the Mantle Phos of Guidance, or Mantle of Phos' Guidance. It looks like it's some kind of a relic that was almost blessed by the gods. It poses some kind of a magical property that really assists in different things.
Phos is the sun god, right?
Okay. If you guys want me to read descriptions, I'll read the descriptions for you.
Yep.
So,
What is the mantle? Is it like a light armor?
well, I'll tell you here in a second. So it actually doesn't count as armor, but it essentially is an ornate mantle that seems to be made of fur and it's warm to the touch. It seems really soothing, and it has a mark of Phos that's like burned into the leather on the front and back. As you end up kind of reading a little bit further around it, you see if it has all its charges after, or if you use all the charges after a long rest, then you get your you get this whole thing, blah blah blah. Basically, what it does is a magical item that allows the wearer to roll, or when you roll with advantage, you may choose to re-roll one of your numbers and essentially get a new roll on one of your advantage rolls. So whenever you get advantage, you're able to re-roll one of your bad rolls. Basically, like triple advantage. And it's a certain number of times a day. Next in the list is going to be a Dragon Slayer's Rapier. So basically, you can think of this as a rapier that does extra damage against dragons. You're also going to have an Armor of Fire Resistance, and that looks like it is scale mail.
Mm-hmm.
Scale mail fire resistance?
Yep, Armor of Fire Resistance, scale mail. There is going to be a glaive that seems like it doesn't have a name, but as you're kind of looking at it a little bit further, it seems like it has additional properties to it. It looks like it's very finely made. You're going to see this one thing that's like a necklace. It looks like it has like a gold and silver, like little strings kind of going around. Like it's been like really, really finely made. You're going to end up seeing it has a pendant hanging at the bottom. But you're going to read as a plaque says, String of Saves. And as you're kind of like reading the description, you're going to get like a general idea of what this thing does. So you're gonna see that it basically once per day allows you to roll a saving throw against a spell you casted and have advantage on it as long as you cast that another spell vector. So whenever you would like throw a saving throw, you're able to get advantage on the saving throw as long as you cast it. Going on to the next thing. So you're gonna
Do you
see.
have a? Is this like a shareable list? I don't want to make you read through every single thing.
I didn't print it out. Sadly, I kind of realized now I should have printed it out.
And you like shared it in Discord?
Yeah,
Is
could
it
you
is it
send it?
easily shareable?
It's not
Is
easily
my-
shareable.
Okay.
That's the
link?
unfortunate part about it.
Yeah, I just feel bad. I mean,
I don't wanna-
It's all good. It's all good. Next one you're gonna end up seeing on there. It looks like it's a very ornate bow. Anyone who's looking at this bow, go ahead and roll history.
Well, what?
History. If you're kind of trying to look at the bow.
Fuck it.
I'm good. I'll look at
17.
17. 17.
Get
Well,
out of my-
is
All right,
it investigation?
History.
History. Oh, it's not 16. Sorry.
Okay. As you end up looking at this bow, you're gonna end up seeing that this isn't just a bow. The bow ends up having like a raven's head built into the bow itself, and it looks like it has 2 jewels in the eyes. And as you end up examining a little bit further, you're gonna realize this isn't just a bow. This is an artifact. This is something that was actually bestowed upon by the gods to mortals. And not just that specifically, you're gonna end up recognizing that this actually came from the Lady of Vale, goddess of death herself,
Moragina bow?
It looks like it has like a plus of some effect to it, and then it has more additional effects associated. It looks like it has some kind of a magic associated that, like, when it's in view of magic and at full charge, it has the ability to just execute targets on contact. It's an extremely powerful and dangerous weapon. And as you're kind of going through like the back of your mind, you realize like, how the fuck did he get this thing? I can share you the list of this stuff, but I just won't be able to give you the.
If you can share like the list of the names, that'd be fine. I think.
Even like screenshots
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, here I'll send that to you. So I will post this
Moragina
in
bow.
the Discord.
You want to do session related ideas?
I'm going to tell
What,
you
Trevor?
whatever one you piss on.
Okay.
Come here.
It just depends if he wants to make it public or not. Just us or everybody.
Can we join the voice channel?
Come here.
Let's do it.
Main session?
Okay, there we go. That is the list right there. I just posted it in general.
Whoa.
All right. I'll keep going through though. Same as.
Vale's Reach, I'm guessing, is the bow you just told
Vale's
us.
Reach of the bow.
Okay.
You're gonna see an amulet of health. It looks like it has some kind of red gem on it, and you can tell it has something to do with not just like your general health, but also your constitution.
Is that like from Baldur's Gate?
It might be actually. You're gonna end up seeing another one on there. It's like it looks like it's almost like a flail that ends up having like a lantern attached to it. The lantern's gonna end up having like spikes and like ornate like iron or steel designs coming out of it. And as you look inside, you're gonna end up seeing that it looks like there is a glowing coming from the interior with like this crystal, not glass, but like a crystal lining on the inside. And you're gonna end up seeing what looks like this little like butterfly or like moth or something just kind of like rattling around the inside of the cage. And it looks like it's kind of just going around and like touching the sides and everything, and everywhere it touches on this crystal seems to glow more like just more vibrantly and more bright.
We're not going there.
So,
What about the Shadow Curse lands?
so if you guys want to know more about this stuff too, just feel free to ask. You're also going to see what looks like some rings that, like, one of the rings looks like it's like a ring of like something. You see like what looks like feet on it and like kind of like brisk movements. You really kind of put together as you're reading the rest of it. It's a ring of evasion. And then anyone who would be kind of cute. Okay. Anyone who would be curious.
The Aboleth? Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's 25 history, whatever that means.
Okay.
I mean, probably didn't even need to roll, but whatever.
Yes.
Tell me about that shit. Give me that.
All right. So who's like kind of reading up on that?
Yeah.
All four of you. All right, cool. So as you're kind of looking at it, you're gonna end up seeing what looks like a jar that has like this eye in it. It looks like the eye is kind of like just floating around freely. And as you end up reading a little more of the plaque, you watch that the eye just kind of looks up and starts looking around and kind of like gazes over all of you. As you kind of like watch it move, it feels like the eye isn't moving in like just a water or something. It's like moving around like a goo, like a sludge or something like that. And as you're kind of looking at it a little bit further, you're going to end up seeing that basically, as he kind of has this written description on it, that this was actually taken off of the body of some warlock that was given patronage from an aboleth that came down here for the sole purpose of exterminating. You rolled what on your history? Is it
25.
Okay, so you got it. So as you end up kind of like rallying your brain trying to figure this out, you realize that there's been an ongoing feud between aboleths and mind flayers and illithids since essentially the dawn of time. Like the aboleths have been around for the beginning and creation. They've actually like preceded the gods. And this mind flayer species just came to be. And that petrifies the aboleths. And they want nothing more than to exterminate them. They know all of the gods, everything that's happened, everyone that's come into existence practically in this material plane. But this illithid species just one day appeared, and they don't like that. And they don't even like sharing the same space as them. But unfortunately, this thing that was given like a warlock patronage by the aboleth was met by an unfortunate end. But it looks like the token of this patronage and connection with this aboleth still seems to have its life as it's kind of looking at you all surveying the room. Going on to the next thing.
Does it say specifically what the eye does? Just the fact that it's
it's an eye of an aboleth, and it was essentially used as a communing tool of like most warlock style patronage to the aboleth. So for anyone who wants to read into that, if you want to go into a special warlock path of an aboleth, that might be something worth thinking about. I'll just make that a little more dry.
Who wants to be a warlock?
Huh. Basically.
Who's got any levels in warlock?
Free multi-class
Interestingly.
into warlock right
There you go.
there.
Moving on to the next thing, though. So you're also going to see he has like 2 potions of potions of mana that are greater. These potions, as you end up putting in the description, are very rare and hard to come by, but they're a way of essentially replenishing spell slots. And this particular one, or these particular ones, are allowed to give you very, very high level spell slots. Then you're going to end up seeing what looks like a couple of spell books off to the side. Some of them are just pretty like minor and insignificant, but they're first editions. But one is going to be standing out to all of you. That's going to end up being one that's an advanced spells of the arcane incline, volume 2, first edition. So this one is going to end up being something created by the Greater Witch, Fanfi, and it has a collection of spells in there, as you can see. So you have spells in there you can copy, like Clairvoyance, Fireball, Counterspell, Ice Storm, Magic Missile, Sending, Stone Skin, and Haste.
Those are to learn, not to use. Right?
So,
And I know the armor, so the list I sent you says studded armor. That's actually supposed to be scanned. So that's my bad. Fix that, actually.
What's the severance of the runic?
Oh, yeah, we skipped that one. Sorry.
We skipped a couple.
Yes, we skip
my bad.
Severance and Edge of the Lingering.
It's a good thing I sent you guys that list because we would have fucked that up. So Severance of the Runic. So as you end up kind of looking at the blade itself has the plaque, but the plaque doesn't have a lot of information. It just says, "Be warned, power within." And as you're kind of like looking at it, it looks like it has almost like a ready to grab presence. It's like displayed in such a way where it doesn't want to even be on the wall. It like wants you to kind of grab it.
That's Severance of the Runic, or is it
Severance of the Runic. As you're looking at it, though, it is like this massive greatsword. But as you're looking at it a little bit further, you're going to end up seeing this, and I'll pull up the description for you. Somebody actually go ahead and roll a d20 for me, so I know what the condition is. I guess.
11.
11 it is.
You're lucky that he told me that.
He called it first.
You're lucky he called that first.
Did you roll a 1?
I rolled a 1.
Break all the first.
Who's got
You were
nicknames?
so lucky he said that.
Yeah.
You were about to have a broken weapon. I'm not even kidding you. Like, it would have been a broken. I have the stat block right here for the broken weapon.
Oh my
That
god.
was.
I got
All right.
Well, I got her. I don't know who wins a fucking great sword.
Good
So,
for you.
not me.
So the great story. As you're looking at it a little bit further, so it looks like the blade, like as part of the description, you read like a little bit more of the fine print, and it basically says something about it being like forged and lost during the plague of the Death Walkers, and then servants of the runic. It looks like it was created to serve like a singular purpose, and that purpose was to kill, to return all to death. So as you look a little bit further, it looks like the blade itself has. So the blade has like it's like a rigid blade that has like a spiraling handle with gold accents going across and different carvings and markings on it. And as you move up towards the blade, it looks like the blade's metal actually begins to mix a little bit more of the hilt, not just in color but also in the form. Where the hilt kind of mixes more of the blade, you look and you see what looks like almost eyes and nose, like just holes that look like a skull inside of it. And as you look at the blade, it seems to be kind of damaged and broken in need of repair, but together, standing almost like by design. Okay, going to Edge of the Lingering Moon. So, Edge of the Lingering Moon, as you're kind of looking at it, anyone who's looking at it, go ahead and roll religion.
Well, I guess what is it first? Like, that would determine if I'm actually
A great sword.
Okay, great sword. You know what? No, fuck.
You want
it.
guidance?
I'll take a fucking look at it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's 12. Sorry, I got it. 7, 14.
Four?
Alright, so that will be 12.
12. So both of you end up recognizing that this blade seems like it was actually, in some way, shape, or form, I was either blessed by clerics of Foss, or was kind of blessed by Foss herself. It's not really clear because the history of this thing isn't really known to you. But it feels like this thing has been touched by the goddess in some fashion. So the blade, essentially, as you're kind of like looking at it, reading the description a little bit more too, you're going to see that the blade seems to have like a trail that follows it. Like almost like there's a second blade always chasing the other blade. Basically, it has this thing where like as you end up swinging, it looks like it probably has additional effects. And if you want to know more about any of these things, you can always go ahead and ask the Mind Flayer.
How many armor pieces were there in total?
Just the one.
What was the mantle?
Well, the mantle is not technically speaking armor. It's like
Oh, okay.
It's like a clothing.
Yeah.
Thing. It's the clothing and the armor, and then the rest of it seems to be.
Or ambulance.
I think I'm more so going to ask.
Okay. So the Mind Flayer is kind of going to look at you and say, well, that's right there. It essentially helps to fortify your constitution. It gives you more vigor and more sustain, and it's as long as you're wearing it, it will elevate you to a higher level. And if I remember right, you can double check. I think it gives you basically just grants you immediate 18 constitution.
I want to turn to Master. How did you come into possessing something from more Regina herself?
Well, it is quite interesting. During the plague of the Death Walkers, there were a great many relics left on this land, and this one by Morgina had stayed. And, as you might know, there are many ruins that were left here after the plague of the Death Walkers. Even through the resettlement of the region, not all of them were explored. Where we're standing was once a temple of Morgina herself. And going deeper down into my home, into this Underdark, you will find that there is more of Morgina's temple. where we've collected this relic. An excellent possession, an artifact, truly.
I unfortunately have. While such a weapon might be powerful and deadly, not use it.
Oh, it's more than just powerful. You see, this weapon itself has the capabilities of not just dealing damage, but also explicitly ending the life of individuals. If they've received enough damage and sustained that the weapon will just serially end their life and send them off to Shadowfell to be with Morgina herself. But only when blessed in the pool. It is a very, very powerful tool.
Sure, more.
On a scale of healthy to bloody, I would argue a little bit more than just bloody would be where that threshold lies. Strictly into the life with the bow. And just to make it more simplistic, if it goes ahead and essentially is dipped into a sacred pool of dread, which are found in different kinds of temples and sanctuaries to Morgina, basically it's like a holy water for her. Ends up regaining both of its charges, and it also ends up being a +2 weapon that has a +1 when it's not fully charged. But as long as it's fully charged on a hit, if you feel like the enemy is below 30 health, you could just immediately kill them, regardless of their skill level. The only thing is it can't be, I think it's a construct or an undead, and they have to be smaller than a large-sized creature.
What kind of?
Or sorry, a large-sized creature or smaller.
What kind of weapon was this again?
This was a longbow.
Long fucking campaign, bro.
I know. You want to steal this one?
Anything else you're curious about?
Well, I do appreciate you showing us your vast collection of artifacts.
I'd
How?
interrupt and say, is there anything you recommend?
What do you like?
I want to walk over to the Amulet of Health. Get that closer.
Is there anything you think?
You're gonna end up seeing everything that was kind of explained earlier. So it's a very, very ornate amulet, but it is going to give you a on that 18 constitution,
19.
as long as you're wearing it, or 19,
19.
19 constitution as long as you're wearing it.
I would ask anything to do with. I don't want to fuck this name up again. The goddess, thunder goddess of like in the storm goddess. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
You want to pronounce it again for us?
If you're looking for something for any goddess, I will tell you that we have a selection of those.
He's not picking up what I'm talking.
Hey, what was that name?
Yeah.
I'll tell you again. So I need to look at the names.
Okinus is what I said the first time.
Okinus. Yep.
Okinus.
Yeah, Akanas. That's the thing though. It doesn't even say like you just made the is like the this. You just added that to the end like
Okinus is what I said.
yeah you did you just added lettering on there.
Can I do an insight check on these things and see if I think that any of them could be like secretly cursed or something? Because I
That's
feel
gonna
like
be more of a arcana.
okay. Because I feel like after the whole thing with Dino, I am like extra like weirded out by magical items
Sure.
like this.
So you're looking specifically though at the amulet of health, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sounds pretty.
As long as we don't grab.
Ominous.
14.
So got more curse.
I mean, we can just leave and.
All right. So as you're looking at more of the amulet of health, it looks actually really totally familiar of what you've seen. And I'm not gonna, even if you roll with advantage, you still look at it. I was going to say roll with advantage. Sorry, but as you kind of are looking at it, it looks actually really familiar with what you've seen, kind of like in your youth, essentially. And it seems like it's just simply a replica of something you've seen some of the mages having before.
Is Is anybody else interested in it? Or?
I
So
just- I
was
was-
the
I thought you were still
bow
thinking
the
of
firearm
something.
equivalent?
That would be the firearm.
I think we're all looking at individual stuff.
I'm only proficient with simple weapons, and
Yeah, but I didn't know if anybody
specifically
else was
firearms.
interested in
that's it.
Oh, I think I was interested in it. That or the
You can
potions.
share it. You can just
If the bow came in a firearm form, I think.
We'll just put it on a really long chain,
I can only
and
use
then we'll just
crossbows.
walk
Walk
side by
together,
side.
yeah.
So is there anyone looking at like anything in particular? Because if there is, the Mind Flayer will comment on it.
I think I'm kind of like looking. I would. Do you think the eye would be like putting off like a weird like energy to it or anything?
It would definitely be kind of like. It would be extremely unsettling, but it would be looking at you with more of a disdain.
Yeah.
Like it'd be kind of hard to tell, but it would seem like it's kind of like looking at you and like squirming a little bit.
I think I want to like.
Sorry, that was good timing.
I think I kind of want to like walk up to it and then like only transform my arm like up to here and then kind of like grab it and like look at it.
You want to pick up the jar and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you end up picking up the jar, you're gonna end up feeling this kind of like weird, like ancient magic sensation that kind of like pulses through you. You're gonna watch as the eye just kind of starts like rattling even more, like hitting the side of like what looks like the jar essentially, and you watch like it's like a goo that it's like moving around in. The Mind Flayer is gonna be walking behind you, saying, "That's caught your eye, hasn't it? The eye of an aboleth. Are you familiar with what these are?
Not really.
They're beings that supersede us as a species. They supersede all of anyone. But there's nothing that these aboleth desire more than to expand and create thralls and end the Mind Flayers. They don't like the illithid of the species. For they know everything that has happened in the world, the feuds between the gods, mortals, and all. But then we appeared. They don't like that. There was a warlock at one point who came in and attempted to slay me. I kept this as a trophy.
What exactly would be the purpose of giving this away?
Oh, I didn't say it was being given away. Simply, it is a relic in my trophy room.
I think I'll just like kind of just set it back down.
Yeah. It looks like it's kind of like squirming more and just kind of like still kind of looking at you. Anything else anyone's looking at or interested in?
I am between the scale mail of fire resistance, which will at least be a little bit better than normal ass scale mail. Either that or
Oh yeah.
That was chainmail, not scale mail.
Oh.
can you say the string of saves again, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So the string of saves.
Or the-
So once
no.
per day,
He's gonna have
once
the
per
same
day,
thing.
you may roll a saving throw against a spell. Or you may, if you would roll a saving throw against a spell, if you casted a first level spell or higher, then you gain advantage on the saving throw.
For me to resist a spell.
So as long as you casted a spell between the start of your next turn and whenever it was, then you gain advantage essentially on saving throws once per day.
Okay.
So, and to clarify too, that's like once for 10 rounds of combat. So
Okay.
it's a minute.
Okay. And then, is there anything special about the flail?
The flail? Yeah. So the flail itself, actually.
This was the one with the lantern.
Mhm.
Swing.
Yeah. So this is more of what you end up seeing as you examine. Nobody was really examining it, so I didn't really go over the description.
Which one was that?
It was the aura of
Luminary.
Yeah, Aura of
I was just about that something.
So you're gonna end up saying that this looks like, as you examine it a little bit closer, it's actually a +1 magic item, and it ends up having a couple of pretty unique effects. It looks like, as you're kind of trying to examine it a little bit further, the lantern itself seems like it's on a short chain and holds like an eternal glow, as I was describing earlier. It has the transparent walls, the crystal, and everything. I want you to go ahead and roll nature.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Well, okay. So as you're examining the lantern a little bit closer, you notice it's like a little butterfly-like creature inside there. You actually realize that it's a moth, but not just a moth. It looks like it's actually an ether moth. It's something that's not found at all on the material plane. It's actually exclusively found in the Feywild. These are very, very difficult things to not just craft, but also collect the materials for. So this particular thing, as you kind of look a little bit more, you're going to end up realizing that on a critical hit or a critical miss, it automatically does 1d6 radiant damage to the target. Whether you hit the target or miss the target on a crit, you're dealing 1d6 radiant damage. You're also going to end up seeing that it ends up having this ability to essentially just constantly create an aura around it of 30 feet worth of light, and then an additional 30 feet from that of dim light. You always are able to see regardless. And that also means you can't turn it off. But.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
That's
Like
I'm trying to sleep.
put something
Turn that
like
thing
over
off.
The light of Lathander, or the blood of Lathander,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Uh,
Can you use?
Yes.
Can you use flails?
I
Either of you guys?
don't even know.
Who can,
actually?
well, who would?
I
if
can use
anybody?
anything. But
Yeah.
I could.
Is a flail a I'm pretty sure it's a martial weapon.
Then yes.
If it's
As
martial-
this is happening, you look
I
at
have
it
a nice
and
staff.
say
I don't need
I was gonna look at the ring of evasion.
What armor do you wear?
Everything.
It fascinates
What are
me
you
that
wearing
you're interested in jewelry.
I'm not proficient.
What exactly is
change shirt.
so fascinating about
Is
this?
Medium. Sorry.
It leads me to believe that you have an axe in your back. Given your size, you have no desires of any of the others in my collection. It's just
My ex is sentimental. It's not going to be something that they get rid of.
it's curious to me that you
Where'd you
choose sentiment over power. Do you have any idea what some of the weapons in here can do? You choose not to.
It was my father's ex, and it's going to stay in my hand.
This is your prerogative. Well, and he's going to kind of explain to you what the Ring of Evasion does. So the ring essentially has 3 charges, and it recharges at dawn. So when you fail a dex throw while wearing it, you can use your reaction to spend one spell or expend one of the charges to succeed in that saving throw instead.
So, are you? Sorry, I jumped.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he point me at all into anything as far as specifically for that goddess?
He would have told you that he doesn't have anything like that.
Oh, he doesn't. I thought you said he does.
He has things for the gods, but not for them.
For Okinas.
Okana. I'm gonna say random ass shit every time now.
I'm gonna put like a pronunciation next
No.
to it.
Doesn't matter
Can
at
I
this
get
point, it's too
the
late.
phonics?
Yeah, the
phonics.
All right.
That's everything. So that list was everything, Frank.
That list was everything.
Really liking the
I guess what's everybody interested in?
scale mail.
Yeah.
Did you want scale mail?
What's the mantle of?
Bear in mind too, what you decide obviously is to be expected in working into our deal.
Absolutely. What's the mantle?
The mantle.
Absolutely. There was
What's
no.
the thing?
It was. It's no armor, but it's like fur and stuff.
It essentially gives you triple advantage. So whenever you would have advantage, you could choose to re-roll one of your
Thinking of like the golden fleece.
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
So what's everybody interested in? I mean, not if you want to say it in character, out of character.
You
Well,
have the ball.
If I take the no armor, I'll have 8 AC. So if anything, I gotta go for the scale mail. It's either that or the strength. I can't use anything else.
The mantle is for any kind of advantage, essentially. Like anything that you get advantage.
Anything that you have advantage on, it gives you an additional. It's up to the charges though.
Yeah.
And it recharges at dawn. So.
And he
I can
hasn't
even-
explicitly
you know
said
what?
how many charges.
You would assume kind of by looking at it, based on the fact that it has a sun in the front and the back, probably 2 charges.
I would be willing. I would be willing. I would be willing, personally, to forego something for myself in lieu of someone else getting something they would.
What are you interested in?
This isn't make or break for me. No
Yeah,
offense.
I'm just curious
Please, I
because
don't
like
mean
that
to
would
insult
you all
your
these
collection.
now.
The bow is magnificent, but I can't wield it.
What's the?
I don't think any of us can wield the bow efficiently in our party.
I mean, I could technically, but I'm not going to use it though.
You can use longbows.
I'm proficient in every weapon.
Every martial.
Yeah.
All weapons.
That's
Is it
what you
considered
get
a
with being a
martial weapon?
barbarian.
No armor.
It's a longbow considered martial? Oh, then I can use it.
I'm proficient in all armors too, except for heavy armor.
So not all arms.
Well, he said.
I kicked my foot.
I thought
It felt like Penny was licking my lip. Not gonna lie. Like, huh?
It's like, bro. Sorry, bro. Well, I'll tell you.
If you're proficient using a crossbow, you're proficient using. Well, it depends on the type.
Well, if it doesn't specify all martial weapons, then
It says martial weapons.
you can use a longbow.
Yeah, you can use a longbow.
I'm between that and
If you're good with a Morigina bow.
that's the only. I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly. I think it'd be fucking sweet with my mindset, but at the same time, my beliefs. I don't know if I would
Character,
agree
bro.
with that. That's what's
All
going on in
character.
my head currently. That's my mind, my thought process.
Don't worry about what you think. Worry about what your character would think. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. There was one that was a feat, an item that granted a feat.
No.
What? I
It
I
was-
swear I heard
There was
feat.
one
Oh,
with
maybe it
the
was
You're
ring.
talking about Ring of Evasion. That's it has feet on it.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, like literally.
Yeah, literally little tiny feet.
Yeah.
What does the mantle actually look like as far as appearance?
It's like furs, right?
I mean,
I know you
should
said furs,
you
but-
should be able to look it up actually.
Oh, is it an actual?
It's not in my main, so you should be able to look it up.
Oh, in here.
Yeah. So if you go there, you should be able to look at the actual thing. It basically it's made of fur and it has leathers on it, with essentially a sun crest on it.
And was there anything that you were looking besides the amulets? I feel like we can just.
I'm not like gonna be hurt if you,
At the same time, I mean, like.
because I don't want to be
And
making
us-
deals with this. dude.
Mantle's perfect for you. Straight up. You're always going to have advantage with reckless attack.
Yeah.
So literally, like, you might as well fucking take it.
I see why you want the health because you're at level 5.
Is there
Well,
either
no,
the
it's
great
not
swords?
just health; it's just constitution.
Either the great
Yeah,
That's
it's
swords.
also good for druids.
Yeah, there are 2
Of
great swords.
course.
Yeah.
and
No, I'm not
things
planning on getting rid of my weapon
I have
unless I can.
advantage
It's like
on
kind of part of this whole thing.
constitution.
So unless I can like enhance the
I
weapon
mean,
down the road. by
I
other
get
means.
it.
What if the weapon is super enhanced?
Just kind of scroll through that stat block really quick. Yeah, scroll down. Don't tell him that, but
Would you be willing to take the potions, Elena, or the spellbook?
okay, you're on it. Okay, yeah.
I
So much of
have
the rune,
most
right?
of the spells already.
Which ones do you not have?
Clairvoyance, Ice Storm.
Take this fucking greatsword. Are you serious? Holy shit, take this fucking greatsword. If you say, my character in digits, fuck you.
You,
I kinda
Fuck
wanna see
yourself
this- I
and
kinda
take
wanna see
this
this
fucking
greatsword now.
you are metagaming right now.
I don't give a fuck.
I would love to
Take this
right now.
greatsword.
Hold on.
Take this fuck. I'm still scrolling, dude. There's so much to it. Take this fucking fucking greatsword.
That's just off the greatsword alone?
yes.
Huh? Stop!
Take it. Hello.
Let me see it.
No.
Take the fucking.
You have to make the decision without
Trust me.
knowing it.
Trust me.
which-
IRL me.
He
Take
literally
this fucking-
cannot use it. That's why I showed him. Like,
Please. Please.
So if I can't use it, can I?
well, your character will have to do it because you now know what like this long list of shit.
I have 4 of the 8 spells.
I swear to God, if you don't take that. I will be upset.
I have a question.
IRL. I will think less of you as a person.
Which one of the items was it?
That was separate to the runic.
How common would I want to see if how common are pull the dreads?
Pools of Dread.
Oh, pulls of dread. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, there might be one down in this case.
Yeah, but I mean, like, because you have to recharge it in it. You have to dip it in it to recharge it. So if they're not common, what's the point? You get like 1 use out of it.
Or you bottles.
Or
We can make bottles of holy water, except it's unholy water.
Unholy.
There's different ways you can try and navigate that. So you would know that in this region, they're a little bit more common. Mostly because during the Plague of the Deathwalkers, like Morigina and her presence was most prominent here, and her cultists were making shrines and temples anywhere they could. So you ended up having a lot of these pools just appearing across the region. They're a little bit more hidden away, but you could generally find them if you have an idea and if you know history. Especially if you do a little bit of reading. But you do know that you only use charges on that bow when you decide to use it. Otherwise, you still get the plus effects until eventually you use a charge.
So if you're trying to like instant assassinate or
it's
instant
30%
kill,
health, you can do boom.
yeah, you can do that twice. But as long as you've bathed it and it has its charges, it's always going to be a +2 longbow. With the, you said there was also a +1.
A +2, and it goes to a +1 after you use a charge.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it'll always be a +2 until you use a charge.
The other portion of it is when you roll 20 on your attacks with this magic weapon, the target takes an extra 7 2d6 necrotic damage. Meaning
On a nat 20, you deal an additional 2d6 necrotic damage. In addition to critting, you also deal...
on a 20. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking rolling a d. Never mind, that makes more sense. I was like, that didn't make sense at first, but yeah, sorry, on a 20.
I will look at the sword.
Wow!
Now did Edar decide to do this, or...
Something fucking told him.
Sure.
Deep down in his
Why
goddamn mind.
not?
Alright, so as you end up looking at the sword, are you going to pick it up, or what are you going to do?
I will just look at it.
Okay.
Does it look like menacing in a way?
It looks... menacing's probably not the best way to
like
describe it.
I'm trying to make sure it's not cursed.
It looks... So, here's the thing. It's not black. It's not red. It's gold in more of a darker color, like steel or some kind of like a very, very strong metal. It looks very rustic and has these ruins on there, but it seems like it more. Roll Arcana for me.
Uh, 14.
You would feel like it almost is coming from like these realms of like positive and negative energy, like those planes. Like it doesn't really have any alignment in and of itself, it looks like, from the blade, but it's there.
So I want to talk. So why are you stopping over there? I want to gesture to the Mind Flayer and is this sword going to have any kind of curse to it? Do you know anything about it? Because we just kind of got out of a situation sort of kind of like that, and I don't need that happening again.
I would hardly say that the blade has a curse upon it, but it does have a longing for conquest. For returning to death.
Is one.
It'd be kind of an upgrade
It-
for me.
Has a
Only for the fly.
personality of its own. Sentience, if you will.
Do you mind if I pick it up?
Go ahead.
I guess I'll grab it.
Okay, so as you grab it, you're going to immediately hear this voice saying,
Walter, what are you doing to me? Are you ready? Are you the next adventurer to take me on conquest? We return all to darkness and matter. Are we returning death to those who seek to evade it?
I don't know.
Answer sharply.
What is exactly you would have me do?
We will go out, and we will lay waste to those who would circumvent the circle of life. All must be returned to death. That is our purpose. I will empower you and enable you. But we must return.
I could get along with that.
Your uncertainty and time waiting is troublesome.
I'm just worrisome that you are kind of looking to kill specifically everything.
I do not care what dies or what is killed. Only that death is brought upon them. If you are in this much of a moral conundrum, then I am not the blade for you.
Yeah, but this one's kind of cool.
Can you call it that?
If I take you, I am doing it for the cause of justice and well-being.
as that happens, you're going to end up feeling the blade kind of begin shaking in your hand as it becomes more difficult to hold on to. I want you to go ahead and make a dex save.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
He said, fuck justice. Give me that.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Anyone else like a high
11?
Okay, and it looks like the blade's going to actually manage to kind of pull out of your hand as it kind of just clambers onto the floor.
Would you stop it?
Do it.
I'm gonna.
You got the good angel and then the devil.
Wait, is this the broken one or is this the one that's put together?
This one is put together.
I want to actually transform, and then I want to grab it and then make my tendrils kind of start wrapping around it and encasing it.
Roll persuasion.
Strawberry one's really good.
I'm not trying to start.
It's really good. It's my favorite one, actually.
13.
Dude, that's really good.
It's really good
That's
strawberry.
really good. What?
13.
13?
Why didn't you just tell me?
I think we can come to some sort of understanding.
Doesn't work.
And I wouldn't have been saying that out loud. I kind of tried
Yeah.
speaking it in my head first.
It doesn't like he's going to respond to it.
And then, okay, so if it doesn't, then I would,
I think this might be good for the both of us. I couldn't agree more. Welcome.
and then I'll kind of just transform back and then see what happens.
And it looks like the blade's actually kind of like holding to your hand. It feels like it's actually there and wants to remain there. You do feel like you're going to have to attune to this thing to fully grab the power and magnitude of this thing.
Fully grasp it in your hand.
Grasp it!
But Okay.
It's not with all this fun.
Anyone else?
You know,
Anyone else want anything? Because I only
spring.
see like 3 things being pulled right now.
So I want to forego if we had only one option per person, hypothetically, not assuming anything, of course. I would give mine up so that you can have the mantle as well.
So you're gonna take the mantle and
Worth noting, he hasn't explicitly said anything. You guys can ask him, but he hasn't explicitly said anything.
He did say we could have multiple.
Yeah.
If it was one per, that's all I'm saying. Not assuming.
What exactly is the
You're good.
what's the word? What exactly is the kind of exchange rate ratio here? 1 item per person, or
Whatever you decide you'd like from my collection, you can take, but there are expectations associated to this.
well, let's talk about those expectations.
What do we have? What do you desire?
I mean, I
You've
think
seen the sword.
the sword feels pretty good.
That is quite a legendary weapon right there. The Severance of the Runic.
I believe if I had to assign numbers and labels to it, I'd say that the sword is one level below the longbow.
That I'm holding.
Which-
Currently.
So you have the bow right now?
True.
Okay.
I never told you I picked it up, but I would have picked it up.
It wouldn't have talked to you, but it definitely would feel like very, very like comfortable, well balanced, and it as you're kind of like grabbing onto it, like the texture in it almost kind of reminds you of like the sensation of like grabbing onto like some not just like a fine there's like some fine tree bark, but like something that has that like coarse material, but almost like kind of plasticed over.
So it reminds me of the ship that I helped build.
No.
Okay.
It
Cute. Oh my god.
Trying to be like
built a
Cheers.
ship.
it reminds you more of like I'd say it reminds you more of like a ship that's been at sea with like a piece of a plank that you've seen like on another ship. You end up picking up the plank of the broken ship and just kind of feeling it in your hands. It has that kind of a texture.
It's like Beachwood.
I got it. Picked up, Mister. I feel the ship.
You're the one that said that. What are you talking about?
The mimicking is what I was trying to mimic at the same time.
Next to the Eye of Aboleth itself, it seems two of you have really gravitated towards some of the finer things in my collection. Anyone else desiring?
The mental also felt pretty good.
I believe a instrument of one's own extended illithid will, I might add, be pretty beneficial if he was pretty beefed up. Great sword and something that helps you strike even harder or harder to kill.
So we're looking at the severance, the mantle, and the veil.
The veil might be a big
I
ass.
nodded my head.
It's very big ass.
Well,
So it's, if I was prudent.
this being said, very curious. This is going to be quite the request. In exchange for these, I do fully expect your friends out front. They're coming inside. The village will also be handed over. And then, not only do you get these, and you could be on your way to your next venture, I would also fully hope that you would be in support of my endeavors. And I believe with this exchange, we would have an allyship.
I nod. The same exact answer that I had with the
that amulet, those potions, you got yourself
Which potions are you looking
a
for?
deal. I don't know.
Big.
I also want to take the amulet as well.
You would like the amulets as well. You said the potions.
Well,
Potions of mana.
If Elena, I don't know if you wanted to grab something else in particular. I mean, that serves us as the serve us useful.
I was really interested.
I mean, I know you said you have a good portion of the spells that are in that book, but he did say it's a lot easier to learn those spells from that book.
You can
You'd
swap
be
your
good.
stuff in and out, right? Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
prepared first time.
wizards
Never
can
mind,
do that.
sorry. Yeah.
A little different from Baldur's Gate.
Well, you can do that. It doesn't matter. I know it.
So you would like to add the amulets as well.
Yes, and you will have my full support.
So we have the blade, the mantle, the veil, the amulets.
I dare not ask for more without starting to become insulting.
Yes.
To assume our worth.
Now, given this, I fully expect that you end up seeing somebody else kind of walk in the door. You'll take this one with you.
What's her name?
He will end up. This one actually doesn't go. This one, Vivo, he'll walk with you.
Bebo?
He'll be with you. Vivo.
Bebo.
Bebo.
Vivo?
Vivo.
V-I-V-O.
The V-E-E.
He will come with you. He will accompany you. He will be part of my connection to you. And as we expand, I will require assistance.
What is sorry. What does Vivo look like? Or what
Vivo's a changeling.
oh, it's another changeling. Okay.
Well, I dare say I must capitulate to these terms. So much too generous. And in exchange for all of this, may I ask for one more thing?
Carefully.
May we stay the night and rest here? I'm awfully, dreadfully exhausted. And I think it'd be fine to break bread with one another. Or break skull.
I know you don't mean that literally. I do require a feeding tonight. But, be as it may, I will permit you to stay here in my home. But we do not have many beds. But my servants will allow you to sleep in their quarters.
And we can set up somewhere else. I don't want to presume to take their spots.
No. We are allies. And you'll be treated as such. Allies that still must prove their worth. But allies. Indeed.
Well, at this point, there's 3 courses of dinner up there for our friend. And we can figure that out in the morning. We have all night to discuss.
So what about the people outside?
Oh, we're bringing them. They're getting eaten.
Okay, they're
tonight.
gonna.
They're
okay.
probably getting eaten
Okay,
tonight.
so who wants to? Who's gonna bring them in?
I can.
school and they already expected you from before, so.
Only makes sense. Plus, I need to check on
If
the
you're thinking
tiefling.
to be any trouble, I could go up there and do it myself. If you're really thinking it's an issue, I could. This is what the new changes would be saying. I could go
about
up,
the tiefling.
I could go up there and talk to them, and I could go ahead and create this.
No, we can do our own dirty work.
We did
Tiefling,
tell the
thank you.
tiefling to stay
I still need to
Like,
head out
stay back
to speak
or-
with tiefling. Get her.
Well, she can come to the Underdark through here, you know?
Well, it wasn't too far off. I don't need to rest as long as you all do. I can guide her there and come back.
I mean, I'll go with you.
Sure you want to.
It'd probably be best for you to stay.
Or we
here.
can just rest, do a short rest.
Well,
and then
I
go.
think you will, since Reginald, I think you might need some more rest than anyone else here, if I had to argue anything.
Yeah, I think you need.
Probably need the rest out of the most of us.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do a short rest, then
I mean, as
that's
long
up to you.
I mean, the golem kind of cleared the way. Should be able to kind of go get
Exactly.
her pretty quickly. And
Well, I'm gonna take her to where she needs to go. Drop her off.
I just.
If you want to join, you're more than welcome to
I
join.
want to go. Like the
Just make sure
curiosity
you
of-
heal down here before you come
Yeah,
back
the curiosity
up
of the dark is getting to me now.
we also had a kind of side contract with our friend here in the tiefling, and she asked for safe passage back to the Underdark to find her people. Would you permit that?
Oh no, absolutely not. I believe that was part of the arrangement.
Well, you did say there are 3 up there. She's,
Yes, I presume that was one of the 3.
well, she's a 4.
She's much further.
Well, that makes me feel more comfortable about the arrangement then. It's another one from the city that'll be coming down here. Fantastic.
She's not from the city.
She came with you from the city. And
True.
that is leading me to believe that she is from the city.
As a man of my word, which is what I give to you in our partnership, I also gave her my word that I would return her to her people with safe passage through that city. So, as a good faith and as another way to ensure our bondage that I am true to my word, I wish to deliver her to her people and come back.
Go ahead and roll
if that's okay with you.
Oh, you want to say something? Roll persuasion too, but roll. Go ahead and say your thing. If you feel like it would help the roll, then
And I can help the roll.
just say it.
That makes sense.
That's still single digits. It's a 7.
No,
Your
dude.
girl's done.
Maybe I shouldn't have made a deal with the simple-minded. For this is an arrangement that we made of delivering those above to me. If the number I read in your mind was incorrect, it was because I read somebody else's mind and misinterpreted, or they misinterpreted the situation. All to say, those above, as we've arranged, are coming down.
So be it.
This one did ask to return to her people, and we have offered her the assistance in that. Perhaps you can grant her part of your influence so that she may extend it down below.
Go on.
Well, as part of us staying here the evening, we will bring her down, as well as the other members of the hunting party from Risenstone. And Belena can be an honored guest for a feast. To which, after she rests, she can go on her merry way to her people and spread any sort of word that she might have learned along the way. Possibly bring some folk back at your behest.
Or persuasion.
And she very well guidance. But I was going to state that this townsfolk were not fond of her. I heard of them. So, easily swayed it.
18.
Oh, God. Friends.
That is
Short person.
interesting. Fetch them. Bring them down.
Very well.
We'll leave this your department.
I'll go get the tiefling. As on my way up, I'll tell the guards to go down.
They're probably going to want to wait for you to get back.
I'm going to tell them I'm going to get the tiefling.
Just bring Belena back and
Either way,
just bring them all together.
I'll bring them all down.
Bring them all
Fine.
together at the same time, yeah.
Hey, I think it was the plan doing that from the start.
I think it might be best if the rest of you go in the quarters for the time being.
Where would that be?
You actually watch as he kind of like points out the door and slowly across the way.
Stuff now.
I think I'm not going to assume that we can just take it. I'm just going to start setting it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I will bring
Don't grab it by the axe!
Oh shit.
He's already broken it twice.
No, he broke.
I broke one.
Don't grab it by the sword.
Are you going with him up top? Or no? Are you
We're over
gonna
to the left. Always.
No, I would be taking a small rest, I guess, as he goes over.
Oh yeah, we're not returning.
All right. So as you end up going up there and bringing them down, it seems like they all kind of follow you willingly. As you end up coming down the end of the staircase, you're going to end up seeing one of the changelings actually changes into another member of the party. Arthur. So as that happens, Arthur is just going to be kind of looking at them, saying, "Well, I think it would be best if we go over off this way into the quarters." Yeah. He's gonna be looking at
Passion
yeah.
fruit, maybe?
what remind me what her name is again?
Elena.
Elena, yes.
It's my favorite one.
Why don't you go ahead and take her to the quarters? I need to talk to them on the side very quick. And as you end up kind of walking with her,
Do I know it's Changeling or do I know it's Arthur?
you wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay.
So as you end up kind of walking off and these individuals kind of walk off into the side room, I want you to go ahead and roll Arcana for me.
That was full curse.
Guys, I think we should
This
is a change.
Just because I want to do it.
Thoughts.
That's 21.
Okay. So as you're kind of walking with Belena, she's gonna end up kind of looking at you, just trying to kind of like ask you a couple questions, but you're gonna be kind of like distracted as you're just kind of listening, and you almost like you don't really hear anything, but you feel like the presence of like this like cyclonic blast that just kind of goes out of the space, and you feel it just kind of reverberate in the air and like kind of feel this essence of off magic as you hear what sounds like a couple like thun thun thuns. And then it's just dead silent after that, as Blaine is still kind of asking you some questions. As you glide her over to this side room.
The one everybody else is in, or
Get whatever else. is in.
okay.
So what exactly is the deal here? What's going on? Are we? This is a pretty elaborate place. Have you clued it out yourself?
It might be easier to show you than fully explain.
To show me.
Let him explain.
Okay, I'll just. Alright. And she's just gonna keep following you over to that room.
Arthur, what are you doing in here? I thought you over there.
in different clothes.
That's very curious. Best,
Is it like did you teleport over here? There must have been.
yes, you know me. I am magical, man.
But of course, yeah.
Don't worry. I'm going to take a seat and rest my eyes.
Just a quick question. You do know that changelings, when they change, it does not change their clothes, correct?
So you would have known.
Well, I would have known when I walked in.
Well, actually, no, you do have dark vision, so you probably would have been able to tell. Okay, yeah.
Either
Yes,
way,
you would've
I would have let it happen one more. I just would have wanted to
Yeah.
know.
Sorry, I forgot that you're a drow, so you're half like drow, half elf drow, whatever. Anyways, you have dark vision, so yeah, you would.
Yes, I do. My reaction still would have been the same. I would say, or I guess she was talking to you, so.
Please go along with them.
Go along with who? I came in here with Scorn.
Oh.
The others were pulled off to the side. You said you had to talk to them.
Oh. Well, then. Sorry, I won't lie to you. I don't know what's happening. But what I do know.
Oh, one
is that
second.
this-
She gonna roll a wisdom save.
Possible deniability.
You were awkward, though.
Everybody just act dumb.
Everything's. Are you okay? Just gonna gas. You seem faint. You feeling lightheaded at all?
Guidance.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Persuasion or deception?
Oh, it's probably deception.
Good thing I'm a narcissist. That is 17.
I don't know. This is a lot.
Would you like to come sit down? Something in the air here. That's why I'm feeling a little strange myself. Please, just join us. We're taking a breather before we dine this evening.
What?
She's just gonna kind of like sit over there on like one of the beds and just kind of like just be trying to kind of digest everything.
Good. Wow. I thought D&D was supposed to be role playing. I've already done this before.
Alright, what do you guys want to do?
Oh, goodness.
So we left all the shit in the.
Yeah, you guys left everything in
treasure.
there. Yep. So you guys are all sitting here in this room and everything, and you feel like you kind of have a little bit of time to yourself. So, so you guys are taking a short rest. Anything you guys want to do in that short rest?
I'll probably sit off to the side and just let the beds be open to whoever first.
I'm just chilling and meditating at this point.
I want to try to sit and take time to learn that one spell. Rope trick that you had given me that I haven't had time to sit down and do yet.
Double check the hours and everything
That's
that
enough.
requires to learn it. But
What level spell is it?
I don't know where it would be.
I think we already put it in your spells, but just look and see what the spell level is.
there's a
First and
gold
second
requirement,
level
a time requirement.
Yeah, it's an hour per level of
I don't know
spell.
exactly what.
So it would take 2 hours
I took
to
it from the
do,
original,
and then I believe
but
100
found
gold,
out
because I think it's 50 gold per level.
Pretty sure it is.
Oh.
Let me just double check that, but I
Okay.
believe that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I was mentioning
Wizards
I still
learning
have it,
spells.
so it's expected. But you were the purpose for it.
Alright. Anything else you guys want to talk about while this is going? So you're going to be learning rope tracking.
So I
pass the book that I brought from the other room to Arthur.
Okay. So you're going to be able to peruse through the book. You're going to see there's a good amount of spells in there. It doesn't look like it's anything too high a level. It looks like the highest level in there is going to be level 2. But you have a good amount of spells there now. So we'll go through it a little more later. But a good amount of spells in there. Just remind me to send that to you.
Okay.
Anything else? You guys want to do during the short rest?
Short rest is what, an hour?
Yes, an hour.
Hour or a little more.
Yeah, you could go up to 2 hours if Elena wanted to sit there and just learn the book.
I mean, I'm cool for
Elena.
however long it takes.
What are you holding up?
I mean, I still don't like it. I don't think I ever will like it.
Okay, I got like most of
But I feel like I don't have a choice in the matter.
Is it? Are you feeling pressured by? I don't want it to be us thing. Sorry, I'm not trying to force anything on anyone.
I just don't feel comfortable leading people to their deaths. Is what's happening.
I don't take any joy in it either.
By the way, it actually takes 2 hours per person. It would take 4 hours.
Then I guess I can't learn it.
Well, you can put a good dent in it.
You don't have to do it all at once. You can break it up. Just cumulatively. You
And
have
how
to
much
spend.
gold was it?
Should be
It
50
is
gold,
50
50
per
gold.
level, so 100 gold and then 4 hours.
I think he still has your full stash.
So regardless, though, let's go back to their conversation.
I just don't feel comfortable leading people to their deaths, and I don't understand why everybody is so willing to do it.
In terms of the Empire, I feel this is the only good news we've gotten this entire time since we've escaped Pike.
I mean, it's definitely not good news. But
In terms of, well,
if we try to do anything against this Mind Flayer tonight, we are going to die. If we are dead, there's nothing we can do.
I think circumstances in mind. If we wanted to discuss things more freely, we should wait till after. I think we take advantage of the hospitality for the evening, rest, and return to town with a decent plan in the morning.
I'll just shut up after that.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do during the short rest? All right. And as the short rest comes to a conclusion, we end there. So thank you guys so much for joining us today at Millennial Tavern. A little bit different tempo today. We had a lot more combat during the last couple sessions, but this one was very political. A lot going on, and a lot of information when it comes down to what exactly some of these items are. So a lot of back and forth, but we'll see what ends up happening moving forward, what the party ends up deciding to do. That being said, tune in for our next session, which we're not sure yet. Are we actually doing next week? We haven't really discussed that. So next week is like Thanksgiving week.
You'll be out.
I can't. I'll be gone.
I think it's best that
We hold off.
postpone it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's holidays.
Works for me. Cool. So unfortunately, not next week, but the week after, we'll be back at it with more D&D. I'm assuming we're going to have both sessions again going, for the Tuesday and the Wednesday. But both campaigns will be going, and we'll have a lot more new stuff going on there. More plot holes, more things, more issues, more conflict. I'm looking forward to it. I think you should too. So thank you all so much for joining us. Remember, this
Thanks
is
for all the
Millennial
subs
Time, right?
today.
Yeah, thanks for the
Gifties.
subs.
Yeah.
A lot of the subs
Yeah,
and all the
thanks, Arthur.
gifties. all the
More
subs
than
and all the gifts. But remember to go ahead and follow us on Twitch and also to follow us on YouTube and subscribe, like all that other fun stuff. We'll be having the replay for this last episode.
Phoeben, you son of a bitch.
Whoa! And we got another
Yeah.
one coming in. Thank you
Any
so
more?
much.
Any more? Any more?
Phoeben, thank you.
5 more.
Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. And also, you get emotes, and we're working on those emotes too. If you guys are having any ideas on what you want some emotes to be, oh wow!
Oh, look at that!
Stop.
You got the
Job,
screens.
dude,
What?
Phoeben.
It covers
Guys.
my face.
Thank you,
Guys.
Phoeben. Thank you, Phoeben. I love you, buddy.
Thank you, thank you. Well, if you end up having ideas for the
Wherever
emotes
someone
and what
sounds,
you
it
want,
covers my face.
and I've noticed that, yeah. But if you end up, but if you end up having any ideas for the emotes, I'm going to be working with artists right now. Basically, this is just stuff that I'm like trying to toss together to try and make things interesting.
Get out from
But I'm
my
going to be working with artists, so if you end up wanting anything in particular, let me know. Just reach out to me on the Discord channel. So that's Spenced out in the Discord. And yeah, we'll go ahead and figure it out from there. But thank y'all so much. We'll go ahead before things get too spicy and off the rails. Let you go. So thank y'all so much. Have a fantastic rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys after Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Yo.
Peace. Bye.
Thanks,
We might
Phoeben.
be all dead next time.